So waves are very similar to clusters in that we essentially have sets within sets or rounds within rounds. However, unlike a cluster, with a wave, something is changing within the round. We're either going to change the reps or we're going to change the weight. So we'll take a look at this example as a pretty basic wave structure. We have 3 rounds, or essentially what would be considered 3 individual waves. So in this example, what we're waving here is the repetitions. So the repetitions are going up from 3, 6 to 9. Okay, and completing each one of these is going to be one wave. So what this workout would look like in practice is that you would perform 3 squats, rest 30 seconds, perform 6 squats, rest 30 seconds, perform 9 squats, rest 30 seconds. That's one full wave or one full round done. After you would perform each of these individual repetitions, these sets, you would then have 2 more rounds to go. So at the end of this whole wave workout with squats, we would have performed squats in total of 9 separate times. Okay, so we have another example here. Instead of the squats waving upwards, we are waving the repetitions downwards. So as opposed to going 3, 6, 9, we're going 8, 6, 4. Rest is staying the same. So in practice, the squat workout would look like performing 8 reps of squats, resting 30 seconds, 6 reps, rest 30 seconds, 4 reps, then resting 30 seconds. And that would be one wave down or one round down, and you'd have 2 more rounds to go. So here's another example. Again, we're waving the repetitions here, but we have a weighted movement. So we're using 100 pounds here for a bench press. And you'll see one other difference here, and that's the rest. So you can see that we have 30 seconds of rest within the round or within the wave, and then we have 2 minutes of rest between rounds. So in practice, this particular example would be performed by first performing 6 repetitions of bench press at 100 pounds, then resting 30 seconds because we are within the round, and then we would perform 4 repetitions, rest 30 seconds, and then we'd perform the final 2 repetitions, and that's the last piece of this individual wave. So once we perform 2 repetitions, we then rest for 2 minutes, because the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to start a new round or a new wave. So we'd go ahead and do that same thing 2 separate times for the remaining 2 waves. So you'd perform 6 reps, rest 30 seconds, 4 reps, rest 30 seconds, then 2 reps, then rest 2 minutes because the next wave is coming up next, and then we'd go through that same thing again one more time. So in this example, instead of changing the repetitions, the thing that's changing within the wave is the weight. So we're going to stay at 6 repetitions of bench press each and every single time we perform it. But within the wave, we're going from 100 pounds to 80 pounds to 60 pounds. So in practice, what this workout would look like is you're going to start off by performing 6 reps at 100 pounds, resting 30 seconds, then 6 reps at 80 pounds, resting 30 seconds, and then 6 reps at 60 pounds, then resting 2 minutes because the next thing coming up is the next round. So again, we perform that same thing 2 separate times to complete all 3 weights. So in this example, we're waving both the repetitions and the weight. And the rest is staying 90 seconds both within the rounds and between the rounds. So in practice, this specific workout, you'd start off by performing the first wave by going 8 repetitions at 60 pounds, and then you would rest 90 seconds, and then perform 6 repetitions at 80 pounds, rest 90 seconds, perform 4 repetitions at 100 pounds, rest 90 seconds. And then you would move on to the second wave, and then you would perform 8, 6, 4 at the associated weights. So the weights are going up from the previous rounds by 20 pounds for each increment. So as opposed to 60, 80, 100, you can see we're doing 80, 100, 120. And then the third and final wave, again, we're waving 8, 6, 4 repetitions, but the weight is again going up from the previous round to 100 pounds, 120 pounds, and then 140 pounds. So here's another example. It's the same as the last example, but there's one difference here. We're performing pull-ups, and we're performing 3 repetitions after each set. So not really too much changing here. In practice, what we would do is we would perform 8 reps of bench press at 60 pounds, and then we would perform 3 pull-ups, and then we would perform 6 reps of bench press at 80 pounds, then 3 pull-ups, then 4 reps of bench press at 100 pounds, and then 3 pull-ups. So just another example, something you might see. In this final example, I just wanted to give a different wave example. So in all the previous examples, things have been changing by 3. So within a wave, the reps might change 3 separate times, or the weight might change 3 separate times, but it doesn't have to be just 3 separate times. So here's an example where the reps and the weight are changing 2 times. So we're going from 8 reps down to 2 reps, and so that's a big change, and we're also doing a big change in the weight. So we're going from 100 pounds to 200 pounds. So there's no hard and fast rule here of how many can be used or how many different changes can be used within a wave. There might be 6 changes within a wave or 5 changes. So just another example.